What's up guys, I'm back today to talk about one of my favorite resorts in the Caribbean. It's Amanera. I'm sure some of you guys who follow me on Instagram are not surprised at all. Like everyone else, it's been a tough year due to COVID. I've not flown or traveled internationally since January when I returned from Hong Kong. Never did I imagine I would go 6 months without traveling abroad. So when Dominican Republic reopened its borders, I was thrilled to get there. One of my favorite things to do is actually go to an Oman for my birthday, or a resort I really like. I've been to an Oman for the past 4 birthdays, I believe, so I did not want to break the streak this year. This is actually our second visit to Amanera, but I think this time we actually appreciate it even more just because social distancing makes Amanera a standout option for anyone who is looking to get away but staying safe. Amanera only has 25 casitas, so at no point in time will you really have more than 50 guests on site with you, and that's at max occupancy. But most of the time, you're probably never going to see more than 3 or 4 guests at a time. During our visit, often we have the beach, pool, and the restaurants to ourselves. We'll see a couple people here and there, but most of the time it was just us, which was phenomenal to have the place to yourself and never have to worry about social distancing, trying to get out of people's way and anything like that. You never have to worry about getting seats because it's always available. It's just really nice to want to go to a restaurant on the beach, whatever, and then there's always availability. The thing I really love about Oman in that aspect. You can see that the architecture is actually stunning. It's one of my favorite hotel designs. The lobby looks like a spaceship. It looks like it's just floating on a cliff. I love the indoor-outdoor concept. You can just sit on the edge of the lobby with the water surrounding you. Often that's where I would go to have a beverage pre-dinner. Pretty awesome, and the breeze is super nice. That being said, let me quickly show you guys our casita, which is one of my favorite casitas on property, casita number 3. So here's a look at our Bayview pool casita. All right, welcome to another tour. All the casitas are basically identical in terms of interior space. It's about 800 square feet, 75-ish square meters. You have a dedicated living space, a bedroom of course, and a decent sized closet. Bathroom area is pretty nice too, as you will see. A good sized living space with floor to ceiling sliding glass doors, giving you ample amounts of light. You can see that the ceiling is very high. I don't know, what do you think, babe? It's probably
12 feet at
12
least.
feet minimum.
Yeah.
Feels much bigger than 800 square feet. Decor wise, it's a bit mid-century modern. I love the concrete here with the kind of industrial and minimalistic design, which is of course something that Oman does extremely well. One of the favorite things I love about Amanera is that the mini bar is including your rate. You can stock it with whatever you prefer. I emailed the team here to tell them what my clients would like to have. In this case, because it's our trip, I've had them stocked with Evian and Coke, and they've got some local chocolate bars sourced from the native beans here. Highly recommend it if you're here. We actually got hooked, so we've been having like 2 of these bars a day. One of the things I've loved is that the mini bar gets restocked multiple times a day. They don't nickel and dime you, so we are never short of beverages, water and Coke. Hydration is very important to them, I guess, and I appreciate that. The ice bucket is always full as well. Again, small details, but something that you really appreciate because I go through ice like I've got nothing, but I go through ice very quickly. And once you open up this nice double sliding doors, similar to the living space, it's very spacious, tons of light in here. We've got a TV raise just for you to know that it's there, but we actually have it down most of the time. Of course, a king size bed. I would say maybe the mattress isn't the most comfortable. I think Four Seasons beds are still my favorite. I sleep like a baby at Four Seasons. Of course, they have tons of outlets by the bed on both sides. Moving on to the bathroom, in the same theme as the other rooms. Tons of light, outdoor area with some greenery, which I love. Reminds me of something I would find in Indonesia or Ubud or something like that. And I know some of my clients will definitely love this tub. And one of my favorite features in the bathroom is that there's a sliding door. You have a great view of the ocean and the beach and the pool. Let's move on to the more exciting part, which is the exterior. And of course, here's what you've been waiting for, which is the outdoor terrace with the pool overlooking the ocean and the beach. This is probably the area where we spend most of our time. I will get up in the morning and jump straight into the pool, have my coffee, and it's just the perfect way to start the day. Tons of space here, about 1,300 square feet of exterior terrace. We have an outdoor shower. We have 4 lounge seats, super comfortable. At nighttime after dinner, we like to come out here for a nice swim. One of the standout things about Oman resorts is that when you have a pool casita or room villa, whatever, depending on the Oman you're at, you actually get a full-size pool. It's not just the plunge pool. I really hate plunge pools. Like I just don't get the concept of a plunge pool. You know, it's like a 2x2 often, and you can barely fit more than 2 people in there. I don't understand what you're supposed to do. Just stand in there and like touch shoulders. I love that Amanera has a proper size pool. I think it's about maybe 12 meters. I think my only complaint is that we do have some greenery and bushes in the front. Unless you're outside of the pool, you really can't see the beach and the ocean. You might have to get the 2-bedroom Bayview Casita, which has unobstructed views of the beach and ocean. Apart from that, it's an awesome setup and pool. That's my 2 cents. I think it's pretty awesome here. I think that wraps up the Casita tour. As you can see, I really love the Casita. One of the things I love about Oman is that even their entry-level rooms or just their accommodation in general is basically what other resorts would have at the suite or specialty suite category even. So no matter what you book, you know you're stepping into something special. I would highly recommend getting a pool casita here. It really makes a huge difference. If you can splurge for an Amanera casita with a pool or a Bayview casita with a pool, it'll be phenomenal. But nonetheless, try to at least get a pool casita. Having that Bayview, waking up every morning to the sounds of the ocean is actually quite awesome when it rains. You can sit there under your shaded terrace and just have coffee. Really, really cool and a refreshing way to wake up. As I mentioned earlier, I love to get to the main lobby on the 2nd floor and just sit on the right corner and hang out. And the 2nd floor is actually a great vantage point to observe the sunset as well, overlooking the golf course. It's a championship golf course built exclusively for the resort guests. Of course, we have talked about food. During our last visit in 2016, the head chef was from South America and his ceviche and tacos were amazing. He has moved on since to a different Oman property. Nonetheless, I still knew that Amanera has ceviche, so I was looking forward to it the most. Of course, they have Western dishes as well. Being in Oman, you can always request for items off the menu. So one of the dishes that Laura loves anywhere we go is gnocchi. The chef found out Laura was a huge gnocchi fan, and they actually went ahead and prepared some homemade gnocchi for her the next day. After that, they actually had some every day just in case she wanted to order it. Gestures like that really just puts Oman on a different level. And it's one of the reasons that I'm such a fanboy and junkie. In terms of activities, there's a lot of things you can do at the beach. They have free non-motorized water sports for guests, and of course you can also get things like sea bob, and you can take boats out for fishing and excursions, things like that. Of course you can arrange a guided hike, cycling as well. I was much too lazy for that, especially after my churros. All right, let's talk about the beach. The beach at Amanera is actually huge. The resort is about 2,700 acres, I believe. The entire beach is basically just for the Amanera guests. It's not private because I don't think the country allows you to have private ownership. Nonetheless, you'll never see someone else from another resort because it's so difficult to access unless you're staying at Amanera. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, should I go to Amanera or Amanera? They're very apples and oranges. So if you really want to go to a place where you have turquoise water, calm water, white and powdery sand, I think Amanera is probably a better option. Actually, for a fact, it's a better option. But if you want to go to a place that has a very like tropical, lush, dramatic vibe to it, then I think Amanera is better because you have these huge cliffs and you have this like jungle vibe to it. And in the mornings, you'll see the mists on the beach is really, really cool. But the water isn't as turquoise and calm as what you would find in Turks and Caicos. The good thing about Amanera is that there's always a strong breeze. I can sit on the beach for the most of the afternoon and really not break out a sweat just because the breeze is constant. That can actually be a bit too strong for some people. So if you have little children, just something for you to consider, because at times if the wind is super strong, it can pick up a bit of sand that could feel like a sting to some people, right? And the same thing with the wave. If you have little ones, just be careful that you don't let them go off on their own into the waves just because they could get knocked over. Also, we have my birthday dinner on the beach, which was phenomenal because we were basically the only two on the beach that evening, and we had an awesome backdrop, and because there's no light pollution, the stars were out, the fire was amazing. I actually got a little nervous at one point about the fire, but yeah, it was fantastic. One of the reasons I wanted to be at Amanera for my birthday. We stayed 5 nights. Probably 5 nights is a sweet spot. I could have stayed another 2 or 3 nights without hesitation. It's always good to leave feeling like you're a bit sad to leave. And of course, always book through a virtuoso advisor like myself to get additional perks and upgrades. I love the management team at Amanera, both Audrey and Caroline, ladies in the front office. They're always looking after my clients and make sure that they're well taken care of. Anyway, I think that wraps it up. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment below and I will get back to you. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's usually the place where I post a lot more behind the scenes, tours, etc. And often you can see things in real time during my trips. But yeah, that wraps it up, and I will see you guys at the next resort. Cheers.